Hello, loves. Welcome to Tea Time with Monica. Today, we are discussing polyamory. Polyamorous is characterized by or involved in the practice of engaging in multiple romantic and typically sexual relationships with consent of all the people involved. Intimacy and trust are essential to successful polyamorous relationships. Now, to discuss this topic, I have my girl Janae and her partners who are in a polyamorous relationship with me. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Thank you for joining us to enlighten people and discuss and dispel any myths anyone has about being in a polyamorous relationship. I really appreciate you all.
Cool.
So I'm going to begin with a quote that I found. And the quote says, "Your capacity to love is limitless. The only thing stopping you is the way you think." Now, how does this quote make you all feel about, people's thoughts about being in a polyamorous relationship?
I'll let you go start with that one, babe.
Well, the answer to that quote, a lot of times people misconception is that it's all sexual.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're putting love is layers. It's something that can be earned, and it's something that you have to put out there, and you have to take on faith sometimes.
Right.
And if your expectations is already low, and if you already look at it as something negative, you're going to block that love that you're going to give and receive.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times that is the biggest problem. We have people that already in their mind state ignoring their heart and just telling themselves that they don't want anything to do with it. They don't want to understand it. And then, of course, something you don't understand or know, you're going to be turned off. You're going to shy away or even attack. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, do you have anything to add to that?
I definitely look at, as far as the quote itself, love is limitless. It's no different than having multiple children and being able to love every last one of your kids the same as the first.
Right.
You can have multiple loves out there and still love the person that you're with or person that you're open to being with, or like us,
Mm-hmm.
people that you're open to be with. Another thing is people have to have an open mind. If you're very closed-minded, then it's just one thing that's not for you, and it's not meant for everybody.
Yes,
it's not meant for everybody.
Well, I'm glad you said that because people think everybody's like it can be a fad thing, or because more people are being open about it now. So some people think it's like a fad, right?
And it's definitely not.
Yes.
It is a lifestyle.
Not.
It is truly a lifestyle. And in a lot of ways, it is a labor of love. Mm-hmm. It is a community. Because when you think about it, part of the reason why that quote is very profound here, and I mean here as in the United States, is because society here has placed limits on love.
Right. Well, they place limits on love.
If we are to be honest.
I mean, in this society, in America, we have limits on all types of love. So
exactly,
it's not just polyamory.
You go to other countries, let's say, for example, the biggest one, Africa. Mm-hmm. This is everyday life. Common, and it's like, but you don't frown on them. So why frown on people here, and why frown on us? It is a community. It's like a community. And for some people, it's building a community and building a unity. And it's like, why can't we do that? Why can't I love more than one person? Why are you giving me restrictions on that? And that's why this is good for a lot of people. And I can definitely see why it would not be right for some people. Some people are selfish, and let's just be honest.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So do you think, because you mentioned like it's big in Africa, do you think that people respect it there because they feel like it's a religious thing? And in America, the dominant, religion is Christianity, so to speak. Do you think that you feel like some people look at it from a religious standpoint?
Most definitely. Yeah, I'm about to say
yeah. Audience, if you can see the faces right now, it's like, oh Lord, do we got to touch this? Well, honey, I just want all the tea on it, so you got to give it to me.
So I believe one of the biggest obstacles to carry in far as poly is the fact that we all grew up in some type of Christian, Catholic, Muslim home, and in all those religions, you know, they teach you know, to honor thy wife, and you only have one partner. I know like Mormons and stuff is a little different and everything, but and some Muslims, I'm about to say some Muslims are different. The thing that I noticed, because I actually been to Africa back in 2005. I went to Johannesburg and I went to the RNC, which is the Congo. I visited there. And one thing that I witnessed, and this is, you know, my first area of learning about before I even knew it was called poly. You know, it was a normal practice, and it starts from our teachings. You know, when you grow up in a church and you grow up in that background, you know, you're going to always keep that because your family believes it, your friends believe it, you know, people on your job believe it. And when you speak about that, you become a martyr. You know what I mean? You know, people, they single you out, they attack you.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why the gay community is, you know, so hard to come out in their own sense. And then, you know, you got people who suffer from depression and everything because they don't want to be themselves. And now with social media heightening them in so many areas, you know, being poly, some people just join it because they want to be seen, or they think it's cool. Like you said earlier, it's a fad.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been doing this for, you know, almost 15 years. And
before even knowing what it was.
Before even knowing what it was.
We didn't know that until like what, 2015, 14?
Maybe that it was called poly. We were just doing it. This is what we were doing.
This is what we were doing.
Oh, so this has been a long-term polyamorous relationship.
So they've been together for
almost 15
years.
And we've been together for going on 12 years.
Wow. So
I used to have a third one, and she broke up with me 2014. And I was with her also for a number of years also. So it used to be 3 of them. And it was all 4 of us.
Okay, so I have questions from all of you saying that. So, okay, first things first, how did each of you know that you were poly? Because that's the first thing you have to realize, I guess, for yourself, right?
Okay, so like we said, we did not know what poly was. It was not like...
We didn't know it was a terminology for it.
Exactly.
Right, but just knowing that you could accept what is now that you know as poly. How did you know that?
So, I'll let you start.
Okay.
I'll let you start.
Well, it just really, and you're going to laugh and you're going to think it's kind of cliche to say this, it just happened. When I say it just happened, it really just happened. And this is before Sherelle came in the picture. When it was me and the other girlfriend that he had spoke about. It was us 3, and it just happened.
Okay.
I mean, it was no like, you know, it was no discussion. It just happened organically.
So it wasn't. So you two did not have a discussion about
it. When I say it really just happened, it was just something that flowed.
Wow.
And we were just like, okay, this is what we're doing.
And you know, it's crazy because I say it's crazy because it's like some people feel like you have to have a conversation about it. You know, people one partner who may feel that they are poly and not sure if their other partner is, I guess they would feel like they need a discussion. But you all
in most cases, yes, you would. But this is our story.
Right. No, I want your story, but you know.
Discussion is definitely supposed to happen.
Discussion. So even for me coming into the picture, I wasn't aware of the relationship like that.
Okay.
So it was kind of like finding out later that it was more to it.
Okay.
And for me, it was like, well, you've fallen in love with this person. You know, you've had past relationships. They did not work out. You know, you love this person. They love you. They love your kids. They love everything that comes with you and willing to carry your baggage with you. You know, why not?
Right.
Like the fact that I did that, huh?
I love y'all's chemistry because it's all like you guys are bouncing off of each other. So you can, audience, if you could see them, you could see the chemistry between the three of them. It's just like, this is normal life. It's not like a game. We're not putting on a gimmick.
No, this is my everyday life.
Every day.
So because people have questions. There isn't any jealousy or any feeling like lacking of anything going on.
No.
All right, let's get into it, honey. Let's get into this. How do you deal with that? Because I want to know, how do you deal with that? This is, like I said, I want this to be an understanding, because honestly, how you all, get through any of that type of understanding and work through it can help any couple, because all couples have a feeling of lacking.
It's one thing that we will say, yes, it's definitely a process. I do want to say that something that people always get misconstrued, like, no, we're not just at home having threesomes every night,
Yeah, for real.
Then how'd you know I was going to throw that question out eventually?
It's not that every night.
Every night? Like every night? Yeah.
Every night? I might get a little tired. You might get a little tired. That's a lot of work for you, sir. That's a lot of work.
So that's first and foremost. A lot of people are like, you guys must really get it in. Like, no, like we have real lives. We have kids. We have jobs. We have,
responsibility.
A lot. So,
it's not all fun and games.
No,
exactly.
It's not.
Right.
Everybody has their part.
Mm-hmm.
We all have our own responsibilities and collective responsibilities.
Yep.
So, I mean, and to answer the whole question about jealousy, let's get something straight. We still human. We're not superhuman now.
Exactly.
We're not superhuman. We're not above feeling other things.
Right.
We're not above that. But see, that's where communication comes in.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why communication is important. And like I said, for most people, a conversation we have. But yes, we do have conversations. And I mean, do what you got to do. I know once upon a time when we were watching, we used to watch Sister Wives.
Mm-hmm.
She and I used to watch Sister Wives. That was like our therapy.
Yeah.
So we would choose our one, like, okay, yeah, you more like her. You more like her. So
it was relatable a little bit. Like, I used to watch that, though.
It was literally our therapy, because there were times that we did not see eye to eye on certain things. We would watch the show and be able to have a conversation. Yeah. Wow. It would just open up the conversation for her and I to have, to have that, to open up about certain things and better communicate. Like, we did not always have the best communication. Sometimes we still, clash. But it's natural. It's nature.
Right.
You're not always going to see eye to eye with everyone, and that's when you talk it out and you work it out. Compromise.
It's called building relationships. It's still a relationship.
Yeah.
And with any relationship, those things occur. So just because it's more than two people, the same things still occur, and so it just takes more time and more communication and more dialogue.
Right. So how does dating go? Like going out on dates? Is it all three of you all or two of y'all? Like, how does that work?
A little bit of everything.
Yep.
So what I have designed, and I did this years ago. Ironically, I just had this conversation with my cousin earlier, because I come to find out he's about to be in a poly relationship, and he called me for advice. And most people usually call me for advice because I do life coaching. I do have in the little plug for that. Let me go ahead and plug that in.
Honey, plug away, honey. We don't have no problem with that on Tea Time.
go ahead and plug that one in. So
Plug it.
I do help relationships, both male, female. I do help in the bedroom and out the bedroom.
That's right.
But back to what my thought. What happens is that we have anniversaries. So I have an anniversary with Sherelle. I have an anniversary with Janae. And when I say I'm dating them, they're not dating each other. They date me. And
well, hold on. Let's get that straight. Say that again. Yeah. They're not dating each other. They're dating. They're dating you.
But there are ones where the girls are dating each other also as they're dating the guy.
Right.
So this is not one of those relationships.
Okay.
By us having those anniversaries, it's like a guaranteed day where you know that you will be you and I will be me and we can go out. So you know, we might go to the hotel and spend the night, or we might go to the movies. Well, back before COVID, and
the Rona ain't helping. The Rona ain't helping.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then on top of that, throughout the year, we do for each other. We go, we celebrate each other's birthdays. We buy each other gifts. We help each other. And now that we live with each other, we work together as I call it a tribe. It's a tribe mentality. We help each other build. When we have lost, earlier this time last year, Sherelle lost her father, and me and Janae rallied together to help her, with the loss of her father. He was a great guy and very dear, a good friend to all of us and everything. And when I've lost my cousins and stuff, or a best friend, Sherelle came to the funerals with me. Janae has come to the funerals with me, and vice versa. I've gone to funerals and stuff. So
even in celebration.
In celebrations, the biggest thing that I will say to your audience is it's all about compromising. Right. That is the secret to great business, and it's the secret to great relationships. It's compromising.
Yeah. Go ahead, finish. I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No problem. And I just say this: the biggest thing that you can do for yourself is know that both you and your mates are all happy. We all, you might not get what you want, but at least you can have a good night's sleep with it. You know what I mean? And that's how I leave that.
Yeah, happiness is definitely key in all relationships, no matter if you're monogamous, poly, whatever, you need happiness. Right. Yeah. So how did you all's family and friends react to it? And how did you express it to them? Look, the laughs. I'm getting the laughs.
So, like you just mentioned, my dad passed away last year. And even with my father, like, not actually asking, but making comments without asking, it was funny because he was like, so he lives with all of y'all in one house, huh? I was like, yeah. Like, it was always funny because it was like he knew without me ever actually having to come out and say anything. And every time we had holidays, he would come over with us and everything. Like, whether it was a birthday, even with us having, kids, him having children, me having children, and us having children together, like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter whose child was whose. Like, if he knew about it, he was open to being there. Now, extended family, it was very different. Even now, like, it's still very different. Extended family, they'll be like, so, we want to know what's going on. Like, what made you join this type of relationship? And I'm just like, okay, first and foremost, it was my choice. Didn't nobody pulled me into a corner and made me or anything like that. No, I'm not getting pimped out, So it's like, no, we're not a cult. Nobody made us do anything that we don't want to do. Like, we have our own minds. We're not puppets. We make our own choices every day. Right. And, just like in the beginning, finding out about Janae in the extent of their relationship, it was like, do you want to be here or do you want to go off and be by yourself? That was a choice that I had to make for myself. Even staying, You know, you wake up in the morning and you are like, do you want to stay? Or do you want to go? You know,
right.
what are you going to do? It's your choice. Every day you wake up, everything that you do is a choice. And that's
Right.
what you have to live with for yourself.
Definitely. You definitely have to live with, you know, your choices. But I mean, I'm looking at you all and I'm like, this is really the choice for you all. It's like I said, I've met you two before Janae. It's real. I've met y'all too, but I've never met y'all. Y'all call them Bae.
Yes.
And it's funny because always Bae. I've always known you as Bae because actually when you two told no, because when they told me, I think we were at a fashion show, remember?
At DOC.
We were at DOC.
You were doing the talk about the beds. You were
yes,
over
the
there
big fig bed. And they were like, oh, we should tell Bae to get this bed. They laugh and they're like, she don't know what we're talking about. I'm like, little did they know I have known about, you know, polyamorous relationships for so long and know people who were in them. And I have no qualms about any of it. You know, everybody's life is for them. And they're like, yeah, she don't know what we talking about, laughing at me. And I'm like, what y'all talking about? and then they explain in their way. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And no, audience, I'm just like, whatever, this is what they're doing. This is their life. Like, who am I to judge anyone who is in a loving relationship?
And that is the truth. But you know, you'd be surprised, years prior, I say in the last 5 years, people have become a little bit more accepting and not very judgy. But prior to that, you know, we used to get it horrible. Like, oh, y'all stupid. Like literally. Yeah. People would say the craziest stuff to us, and you know, and he would get it too. It used to be bad because, you know, people looked at us and thought that we were not, you know, we thought we were less of ourselves because why would you want to share a man? Why don't you think you can have your own man? And you don't know your worth. Like basically telling me that I feel bad about myself.
Right.
And I'm like, no, negative.
I don't know, Janae, to feel bad about nobody's self. Have they seen you? Do they know that?
I'm like, I don't feel bad about myself at all. I'm like,
excuse me, audience, you may not know her. Some of y'all might know. Do y'all know Madam Ravish? Because I don't see nothing lacking there.
I know, but people, this is what people would think. And, you know, to piggyback off the family thing, like my siblings, they were like, oh, okay. My brother's like, you love it, like it, I love it. It's cool. You know, he's hosted us when he's been out of state, when we visit him out of state. And my sister's been fine with it. My mom is kind of like, okay. Like,
it's your life. I can't live it.
My father's kind of like, I'm going to get there with you one day. I'm going to get there.
So how does that make you feel? Do you feel supported? Do you all feel supported by family and friends?
Some family, yes. You know, I have like a lot of my cousins and, you know, like I said, my siblings, a couple of my aunts, they all know. And they're just like, you know, who am I to tell you what you're supposed to do? You grown.
Right.
So be happy. And that's all I care about. You happy? That's what they're like. You happy? You good? Okay.
All right.
Like, you know, don't worry about everybody else. Be happy. Because that's always the hardest thing is be happy. So if you have something to make you happy, and if you're happy in this relationship, be happy.
So the overtone I'm hearing is communication, make sure you're happy, and you're not feeling less of yourself. That's what I hear from all three of you.
Yes. That is correct.
Yeah. And I'm just, I guess I wonder because like I said, now when you, like you said, so many people are getting into it and we're talking about like people think it's like it's a fad. For some people it may be. They may be like, this is I'm gonna do this. they think I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna be able to handle it, but it you all have been in this for the long haul, you said. So and you have your moments where it's like, look, I need a moment.
Oh yes.
So how do y'all take that me time? Is it easier to take the me time?
You really do. Like especially for us, like us living together, it was an adjustment. Like we went from having our own rooms, having our own space, to we all sleep in the same room, same bed, you know, a room for the kids, and so on and so forth. So there's nowhere to run and hide unless you're running and hiding in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Learning how to mentally deal with situations, and communicate with each other as to how you're feeling, what you're dealing with. And, you know, sometimes, and this also goes with the Black community too, like knowing your mental state, accepting how you mentally deal with and handle situations.
Speak on it, my sister. Speak
and
on it.
knowing how to communicate with one another so that you can work through it together. Like being in this type of relationship, you're never alone. Nope. Like you are never alone. You never have to worry about not having someone have your back. Like you've always got a team that's building with you. You're never building by yourself.
She said that community. They said that community though.
Yes, that's just what it is.
And my thing is that when I am attacked, and the way I am attacked is either I'm called a pimp, which I take that highly offensive.
Y'all ain't on no corners.
Yeah, well, pimps only care about themselves.
Y'all not on the corner.
They don't care about family building and communication and teamwork and stuff. Pimps only care about their money, how fast you can get it in the end. You know what I mean? And another thing is that we have reached a level in our relationship where, you know, the girls are able to date or see other guys.
Whoa, hold on. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that was happening. So let's talk about that. How did that come about, and how does that work?
That came from me.
Okay.
A couple years ago, there was a time where I would not allow the girls to do anything with other guys. You know what I'm saying? And I had, over time, I started to change because I started to understand the difference between intimacy and sex and relationship communication. And it's something that not only in the Black community, most men have a problem with. And, you know, they want to have threesomes and all that. But when their girl, like, hey, I like this guy or something, you know, it's, whoa, you know, hold up now. You know what I mean? You're going too far. But, you know, you out
it
there
does happen.
Yeah, it becomes a double-sided. Yeah, it becomes double-sided. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? And you become a hypocrite. And that's literally what I was becoming. I was becoming a hypocrite. And it's not to say that they just, you know, every time you turn around, but at least they have that option.
Right.
At least they know that if they are to do something, we have a talk. You know, they say, hey, I'm getting ready to do something. You know, they're not going to be judged. You know, we don't bring it up in arguments. You know, and if they want me to be a part of it, I can. If not, it's okay. We've reached that level in our relationship where it's like, you know, I trust you. And that a lot of marriages, people that have been together 40, 50 years have never reached that level.
I mean, this sounds like a level of communication that I know several folks need some help on. Several.
Hey, I do the coaching. I help.
Honey, keep putting that plug in there, because this is a level of communication and understanding and openness and selflessness that I have not witnessed ever. I don't think, especially from a man, a Black man. Wow.
Yeah, it took a lot of soul searching, and it took a lot of understanding and research of not just literature and everything. It took a lot of research within my relationship. I had to sit back and look at it from the outside looking in. something that we don't do in relationships, because a lot of times when you're in love makes you do crazy things.
It does.
So
I don't know. I've never done some of the crazy things I've heard people do, but it's
right, yeah, exactly. You're not on TV.
My livelihood is not worth this relationship, son.
Yeah, I'm about to say you're not on TV One.
We're not on For Your Man. We're not on For Your Man.
Honey, I ain't on Snapped. We're not on Snapped.
I'll be this. That's it.
Okay. Our relationship is a testimony of what can happen when unconditionally. And I mean, I respect marriages, I respect unions, and I hope that people will respect what we have, because I love these women. They're in my will. If something is to happen to me, they are the ones that's going to receive the stuff I have when I die. They are one of my biggest accomplishments, is because it showed that I can build a family from a person who really didn't have too much family growing up. And I came from a broken marriage, and my mother's a Jehovah's Witness, so I had to live the cult life of that. And luckily, a lot of that taught me about the difference of religion and honesty, intimacy, and everything else. And I have sat down with many couples.
Right.
I've had talk with many people, professors. I've had papers done on me, college papers done on me. Several people, because people, not only they are intrigued, they want to know the one question is just how.
Yep.
And that is generally the question, like, how do you do this? Because it's not common in the American society. And like you all said in the beginning, the first thing people think is, y'all having threesomes every night. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, sir, like, men will probably I know men look at you like, so how you do it? You got some ginseng, like what you do to really?
Right, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, do you squat a little bit? How you do?
You do look good in front of guys. It makes you look good. I'm not gonna lie, I have rode that train. I do show off sometimes.
I mean, hey, why not? If that's what they're gonna take, flaunt it, honey. Flaunt it.
Yeah, exactly. But I do urge people that want to be, like, hey, I want to be like you. I'm like, I don't know if you can do that. And the first thing I always tell them is, can you watch your girl, your wife, your fiance get banged out by somebody else? Can you do that? And not get mad, not get jealous. And if you can do that, then I can see you having a future in this, because it's not to say it will happen, but like I said, it's a form of compromising, because once you open that door, you gotta open the windows, you gotta open the back door, the front door, the side door, all that. You gotta open all that, because if it becomes too one-sided, it's not really a relationship anymore. It's become a dictatorship. Right. Now you're talking about you're in trouble. Now you become toxic. Now you feel like a slave. Now you feeling dumb. Now people, now you're trapped. Now you don't know what to do. You have to, and I mean,
now you're insecure.
Exactly. Now you're insecure, because you have to open all those doors. And I mean, it's not to say people will go through there,
right?
But at least they have the option.
It's the option. So
yes, you have to get that option.
Right. So let's dispel this myth. Swingers and poly, two totally different things.
Yes.
Because I know y'all probably get that too. So let's talk about, how you get that, and how you allow people to know that that's two separate different things. Because one is simply sexual, and what you all are talking about here is true intimacy that's above the sexual level, right?
Yeah, that is correct. Absolutely right.
Swingers are mostly more so married couples, right?
Right.
I would say swingers can be couples, but they singles and couples.
Yes.
Because they're just going out to swap mates for the day or whatever, or for that time frame to do them. And, you know, and that's just, and, you know, some people consider, they call that lifestyle.
Right. But that's a swinger lifestyle. That's a different lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah, but some people refer to it as lifestyle.
Yeah, like some people don't realize like how much terminology there is out there, even for poly. Like, it's like we learn something every day. But lifestyle is another term for swingers.
Right. So when you hear somebody say that, it's like, yeah, are you part of what the lifestyle? They mean they're trying to say swingers without saying swingers.
Well, and I think it's because from what I know, it's a lot of some of those high-powered people in it that don't want people in their business.
Yeah.
And don't want people to know that, you know, look at them like, oh, that's why you get that. You know what I'm saying? They just be like, I'm in a lifestyle, you know?
Yeah. And so it is different because it's really not about intimacy. It's not about love. It's purely physical.
Yeah.
And whereas poly encompasses everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people just really need to understand intimacy. And that's a problem for a lot of people, is really understanding that intimacy doesn't just mean the physical form of intimacy.
Then I'm going to do my plug right quick.
Okay, all right. Get it in, boo.
Because Madam Ravish has revamped. And now
hold on, let me have a celebration.
Now, I have not left lingerie alone.
Okay,
However,
good.
I do work with women. I do coaching for women. And it is centered around self-love, love and sexuality, intimacy, and with themselves and in relationships.
Okay, so we're going to have to do another show later on down the road. Now, does everybody have a plug? Because I've got two now. I need a third here. Yes. Okay, give me my plug. Give me my plug.
So, I also do life coaching, but mine is more so like moms finding themselves after having kids for the first time or in a long time. Single moms, all of the above. Like,
okay, so I need the three of y'all on 3 separate episodes.
Yes.
Because I can see this talking about moms and how they find themselves, men finding true intimacy and learning how to be selfless in relationships and communicate, and then women finding their own intimacy and learning how to deal with themselves and be like, I can see it all, honey. We're gonna have y'all separate y'all too. I love it. I just, you know, I appreciate you all coming on this episode to really discuss and give some insight into what a true polyamorous relationship is. And I know it's you all's personal story, but I think especially for the Black community, this breaks it down in a different way because, trust me, I've heard people say, oh, they're just like they just have threesomes all the time, or how can they do that? How can you be, like you said, how can you be with a man that can be with, you know, more than one woman, or even if it's a woman being with two men? Like it's so unheard of. People can't think past what the nuclear family or what the traditional of what they were taught relationships are. And also, like you said, it's not for everybody.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Some people just are monogamous. That's just them. That's what they want, and that's fine. But it's also that people are poly, and that is perfectly fine as well.
And don't be private poly, meaning that you poly and then your partner don't know you poly.
That's just straight up cheating, honey. You got don't do that, because then that's cheating. You got to be open and let people know.
If you're not open and you can't keep them 100, then it ain't for you.
Right. It's not.
And,
it's not for you.
Let me leave off one thought one thing that always bugged me when it comes to explaining our relationship. And this, I will say, I get this mostly from Black women. They always tell me, you know, there's no way you can love more than one woman. The Bible tells you that in the Bible. And let me say this. First of all, most of the characters in the Bible do have multiple wives.
Speak on it. On it.
That's Old Testament and New Testament. So, you know what I'm saying? It does explain that. And another thing, and then another thing is that when you're talking about love, I've said this earlier, love have layers. You know, your definition of love is only your definition, but it has layers. Hate is something straightforward. Love has destination. So when you have love and you have layers of it, I have 6 children. Do I love one of my children more than the other? No. I love all my children the same. I like ice cream. I like vanilla. I like strawberry. I like chocolate. But I like ice cream. I like different flavors. So, you know what I mean? I like food. I like different types of foods. So every day when you got people that got iPhones, people that got Samsung, you got people that got Android, you got people that got different model cars, but you like to drive. My point is that we are capable of loving multiple things of the same thing. So don't put yourself, because a lot of people, because they say, oh, I only have a soulmate. Well, you probably
have more than one soulmate, and they don't know about that.
Exactly. That's why if soulmates was really real, then we wouldn't have divorce.
Well, honey, we're not gonna talk about that because that wasn't a soulmate, honey. You just got married for a reason. You didn't. Let me shut up because I'm not. Let me shut up because I'm single. I've never been engaged, never been married, and people will say you don't know what you're talking about because I get it all the time.
Okay, well, let us tell you, every last one of us have been engaged. None of us have actually dumped the broom, but every last one of us have been engaged prior to being with each other. So, yeah. And we can say.
My thing is for your listeners who hearing it and they probably enraged right now. They probably angry. They probably pulled their car over. They probably stopped working and everything because they angry about my words. But I tell you this, if I struck a chord, then there must be some truth to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? If I struck a chord, there must be some truth to what I'm saying. Because if you look at history, I'm pretty sure your grandfather cheated on your grandmother, but she probably let it slide because he still paid the bills. And he did it so long ago, you probably wasn't even around to see it.
Hold up. Like today and I always say, you know you got that one uncle way down the line. They had a family where you was living and a family in the next town. And you know when you went to that funeral, everybody came out the woodwork. Well, who child that was? And that was so-and-so child. And look, the difference from then
honey,
and now.
Look, the Temptations had that Papa was a rolling stone.
Okay, exactly. Instead of being a rolling stone, keep it 100. That's all.
Now we have social media. And now we can see that family before the funeral.
Tell me, you look a little.
That's the difference.
Like
yeah.
I don't know about this.
Exactly. Right. It's not for everybody, but for the ones who believe that they can, you know what I mean? Feel free to drink the tea. Come on and find out. We will gladly sit down with them. Yep. We have areas and expertise. We've been doing it for a very long time. We have a great success rate. And I guarantee I guarantee you, we will make you, if we can't make you believe, we can make you understand. That's the goal. Just to understand.
Just to understand. I think I could talk to you all for about another 4 or 5 hours. About a list. I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna come back and be like, why you ain't ask them this? Well, why you ain't ask them that? Well, look,
we can always do a part 2.
We can do an audience if you want a part 2. If you want a sequel, let me know because they will, and you guys can send me the questions to ask. How about that, audience? If you want a sequel, you gotta let me know, and you have to send the questions in. If I get at least 5 people telling me and get 5 good questions, we can go on.
There we go.
All right. I love it. I love it. Well, I know you guys said, you can love more than one thing, but y'all all hear that Baltimore accent. So I can't love anything else but those Baltimore Ravens. And I know you guys can consent to that. Oh, yes. So You know, I'm sorry, I can't love nobody else. But other than that,
we love football.
We love football.
I love football. I love a good game. But when it comes to the team, Black and Purple was all I know.
Yeah.
Yes, hear that on my Ravens flock. Yes. Well, definitely, like I said, thank you again for coming on Tea Time with Monica.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, this was a very, very informative discussion for myself, and I know for my audience. I love it. I will definitely have you all three back individually. And like I said, audience, if you would like a sequel, I need 5 people to tell me, and I need 5 good questions to get this sequel popping.
Let's go. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let's go. Come on now.
Yes, honey. Plug that for me. Thank you.
We need to see it. If you want to hear it, we need to see it.
We need to see it. Definitely. Well, audience, thank you for listening to another episode of Tea Time with Monica. Bye, loves.
Bye.